The Cracker Barrel 400 out at the Nashville Superspeedway is now officially in the books, and Ryan Blaney is a new winner in the 2025 season. And now all the attention turns to the Brooklyn, Michigan track, the Michigan International Raceway, which the Cup Series and the Truck Series will be out this upcoming weekend. ARCA is going to be there Friday. At the end of the day, who cares about ARCA? It used to be a good series, but in recent time it has gone to crap. I'm just telling you how it is. But yeah, you got a couple of series in action. Xfinity is off. They go to Mexico City next week, so teams are getting prepared for that. But today I'm here to give y'all my race picks for the Cup race in Michigan. But enough said here, and on to the intro we go.
Hey, Ryan Blaney here, and you're watching William Blackman on you.
At this stage of the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series regular season, I am putting all of my money on some Carson Hocevar stock. Carson Hocevar, as of lately, has started to turn some heads, if you will. If you can remember back at the beginning of the year, the second race in Atlanta, he had a very good chance to win that race if the caution did not come out at the end for a Josh Berry wreck. And I believe they made the right decision for throwing the caution, but if it didn't happen, Hocevar actually had the preferred line and would have had a lot of momentum going to the start and finish line, which I believe would have been enough to beat Christopher Bell. But it didn't happen, so yeah, you move on. And then Carson Hocevar throughout the season has had his ups and downs. Yes, I know that a lot of his downs have been his fault, but I think it's because he didn't respect his equipment. And what I mean by that is he had fast cars, but he was just doing way too much and being Jack, you know what? I think the big turning point for him was seeing his teammate Michael McDowell in Texas nearly win the darn race. And that right there, I believe, gave him some confidence. Is thinking, you know what? If my teammate can do it, why can't I? And from that point on, we saw a different Carson Hocevar. We saw him in the All-Star race. He was very competitive. If I recall, he was in the top 5 very late in the running. He needed some help, but he ultimately fell back. But yeah, you move on to the Coca-Cola 600. He was in contention for the win. Blows up. Very unfortunate, but you know what? There's a lot of drivers when that kind of stuff happens, they may fall apart, and the following week they may not be even talked about. But Carson Hocevar did not let that happen at all. He went to Nashville and was a force to reckon with at the end. He was chasing Ryan Blaney down. But when Blaney got behind the 88 and Hocevar got behind, I believe it was the 21, they just plateaued a lot of times, and there was really no driver better than the other. It just evened out, and Denny Hamlin really couldn't do much because he was right behind him. And it was like a big train, if you will. In Formula One, for all my Formula One fans out there, we all know the term a DRS train. Obviously in NASCAR, they don't have drag reduction systems because they have all that downforce. But yeah, it's like they had a train, really nobody could do anything. So it's kind of helpless there, but yeah, that's how things go. But he came home in second place, and I believe right now Carson Hocevar is going to get a win this year. But the real question is how many wins? Because I believe he's going to win more than once. And I think that Carl Edwards may be onto something here. In the pre-race show, he kind of mentioned it, that Carson Hocevar can make a deep playoff run. If he gets into playoffs, I really think he can make it to the round of 8, perhaps Final 4. But I believe he's going to get his first career win at his home track in Michigan. Already here, P2, Denny Hamlin in the 11 car. Denny Hamlin, as of lately, has been hot. And his time is coming. I really thought it was going to happen in Charlotte. Of course, that didn't happen. I thought it was going to happen in Nashville. He had a very quick car. He was all-star strategies with the 12 and 77. You thought that offset would make a difference, but it really didn't because they were in that big train of lap cars, and it was just a one-groove track at that point because at the beginning of the day, the race, if you will, we had that middle groove working for some drivers, not all of them, but for some. But towards the end of the race, that middle was like non-existent, and next thing you know, everybody was crowding the bottom, and you really couldn't pass. So, yeah, it would have hurt for NASCAR to put some PJ1 down, but they didn't, and that's just how the story goes. But I do want to give NASCAR props, though. Yes, they didn't put PJ1 down, and it kind of killed the racing at the end, but it is a lot better watching these cars at night than during the day. There should be more NASCAR night races, in my opinion. Xfinity, yeah. Truck Series, yeah, obviously. But the Cup Series needs at least 3 to 4 more night races in a year. Just my opinion. But there you go there. Kyle Larson, P3. Kyle Larson, he's kind of worried me lately. Yes, he had a top 10. I'm filming this on a Sunday night after the Cup race in Nashville. Yes, he had a top 10. I get that. But he had all that preparation at the beginning of May for the Indianapolis 500. He struggled there, went to Charlotte and struggled. And I just don't know. He's in a bad headspace right now, in my opinion. And a top 10 in Kansas or Nashville is a pretty big deal for him. But I kind of expected more from Larson. He won this race back in 2021. And he was just irrelevant. And it kind of surprised me. But now he's heading to Michigan, a track which I believe he won his first race at in 2016. So obviously he's going to be a force to reckon with. I remember, I don't know if a lot of y'all remember though, back in the day when he first started winning these races, he was winning these 2-mile tracks like Fontana and Michigan. Obviously we don't go to Fontana no more, and I highly doubt we will ever go back there because we all know how big of a political nightmare that is right now with the track and the city. They're wanting to buy land, this and that. I don't think we're going back there. But Kyle Larson used to be the GOAT at these kind of tracks, like Jimmy Johnson was at the 1.5 miles. Larson was always a favorite, but he kind of fell away, just like Chase Elliott did for the road courses. Chase Elliott was, at one point in time, the greatest road racer in NASCAR. Obviously, that time has kind of came and gone, but Kyle Larson was like that at these 200-mile tracks, and I believe he's going to be competitive this week. A top 5 is definitely going to happen. I think it's going to be third. Fourth will be Austin Cindric in the 2-car. Austin Cindric, in my opinion, has had a very interesting 2 weeks. His father was let go from Team Penske on the IndyCar side of things. A lot of people thought that may correspond with the NASCAR side, but it doesn't. And Team Penske and Roger Penske himself has kind of reaffirmed that Cindric is their guy for at least until the end of 2026 because he's under contract. P5, Joey Logano in the 22 car. And my dark horse, Zane Smith. I think that Zane Smith is going to get a win this year in 2025. At the beginning of the year, I cannot preach this enough. There was a lot of people out there to say, front row, who's going to lead them? A lot of people were buying Noah Gragson stock. I can't get my words right. And I also bought in some Todd Gilliland. I was very high on Gilliland, and I still am. But Gilliland has struggled as of lately, and Gragson has obviously too. But Zane Smith has just flown under the radar. His time is coming. He's very competitive, and he's mighty fast. And is it going to happen this weekend in Michigan? Probably not, but I think a top 10 is definitely in the running. You got Mexico City next week. Kind of iffy on road courses. And then next thing you know, you got some good tracks coming up. I really eye Atlanta for Zane Smith because we all know how good the Fords are there. So maybe the Fords go to Atlanta and Hampton, Georgia, and just put on a clinic. Who knows? Time will tell. But Carson Hocevar gets career win number 1 in Michigan. What do you think? Comment down below.